got nerves now. I don't know if I want to do this. I gotta hit the play on the thing before I can see the lyrics, so give me 1 second. Fall is here, hear the yell, and back to school and ring the bell. Brand new shoes, now walking blues, climb the fence, books and pens. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Walk with me, Susie Lee, and through the park and by the trees. We will rest upon the ground and look at all the bugs we found. Safely walk to school without a sound. Safely walk to school without a sound. Here we are, no one else. We've walked to school all by ourselves. There's dirt on our uniforms from chasing all the ants and worms. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Numbers, letters, learn to spell. Nouns and books and show and tell. Playtime, we will throw the ball. Back to class, through the hall. Teacher marks up, hide against the wall. Teacher marks out, hide against the wall. We don't notice any time pass. We don't notice anything. Teacher side by side in every class. Teacher thinks that I sound funny, but she likes the way you sing. And I don't dream of while in bed with silly thoughts going through my head about the bugs and alphabet. And when I wake tomorrow, I'll bet that we will walk together again. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe. That was the music of Josh, my favorite Martian.
He's missing his soul brother.
Who's he missing?
Paxton.
Oh, please.
You know,
That's why it didn't sound good.
when you don't have your blankie, your wubby next to you, you miss your little soul brother.
Oh,
You
that's
know how
what
that
you
rolls
want.
out.
You want to be known as he's your
Soul
whoopee.
brother.
He's your whoopee.
Your wubby. How you doing? Happy Tuesday? Only Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Still not a grandpa.
Still not a well, your
Still
grandpa,
waiting.
you just don't have a little girl yet.
And they're sending me all these pictures. Jojo, thank you very much. Sending me these pictures. I sent you a copy of what she sent me.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
You don't communicate very well.
I sent it to you.
And I'm supposed to take that in what context? I thought, you know what
It's
I
an
thought that
old
meant?
man in a wheelchair.
Here's what I thought that meant. You were waiting for me to get on set because you were here and I wasn't. You need to communicate clearer. Like there
What?
needs to be a context when you send things.
Do you know
Not
what
just-
this means?
Not just a picture without a context. So I just saw it. I thought, I'm not that late to get on set. I'm right here.
I tell you the baby's coming and you thought something else. I mean,
Well,
I
the
don't
word
get
was
you. What-
baby coming.
Well,
And what? Here I am. It's 8 o'clock this morning. I'm at the Lynn Women's Center. I'm getting my mammogram and ultrasound. I see baby coming. Okay?
I
And
figured
what?
you
What does
needed
that
a break in
mean?
the action.
What is that?
You know, mammal, grano.
What does that mean? Anyway.
Well, what do you think it means?
Wasn't even like on the register that the baby was coming. And then I see this old man's grandpa in the walker.
That's what they tell me, that I'm waiting.
You're waiting.
I'm getting older by the minute.
You're going to head out there this weekend, probably.
If there's no problems, I will not. Maybe. Well, maybe I will.
You can't just go when things are a problem. You got to go and enjoy life.
Maybe I leave Friday night. I don't know. The last time I went, remember?
You stayed in a roach motel.
Yes, I stayed in a row because there were no rooms.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
And I don't want to do that again.
So you got to make plans today. Go Saturday morning. Check into a nice place.
I'm going to have a sleeping bag and I'll sleep on the beach.
What's out there?
People.
Oh, people are coming in.
Yeah.
So big news is coming. We'll let you know when Juliana's born. Big news.
And if you stay tuned, we may have it right from the room, from the delivery room.
I'm not so sure.
Watch out now.
Do you know these two pieces of art came to us from our artist Audrey Arb, and that piece behind you is called "Kiss of Dawn." And I would read it, but it's not daytime appropriate. As I'm trying to read, I'm like, no, I cannot read this on the air.
And this one is called Bites of Freddy. You see the two pieces of lips that are stuck in there?
I don't know what that one's called. Anyway, happy Tuesday, everyone. That was the music of Joshua Martin in the house. He's like, no, I like that song.
Josh, I got you a new nickname.
What is it?
My favorite Martian.
You're busy with nicknames.
Joshua Martin. And then we have
Don't say it.
Shazam.
Oh, you can say Shazam.
And then we have.
We
You
got
see,
you.
this is the reason I can't do these like
I can't
this.
even remember the nickname.
J-Lo, we changed to
You changed it?
JJ.
Why'd you change
Because
it?
she don't like J-Lo.
She didn't like from the beginning.
She likes JJ.
So we got new crew. We've got Royce doing edits, and she says to me, "Yesterday's show, I can't edit." I said, "Why?" She said, "The sound was really bad." I said, "Oh, thank you." That's why we had to redo all of our mic checks.
What do you mean that sound was really bad?
She told me. So that's why we're checking out all the mics again.
That's
so-
great to hear. And there's nothing like Josh Martin. My favorite Martian is checking out the sounds.
But we got a good show lined up for you today. We've got our good friend, author and screenwriter Frank A. Ruffolo in the house. We've got Richard Sosa, and we have a new guest. We've got Alex Moreno, because it's all about the U, in the house talking about film production. He works with teens and film. We're going to get it inside.
What does that have to do with the U?
He's at the U. He teaches there.
Oh, my
And actually, the
condolences.
premiere is on the 21st at the University of Miami Cinema
My condolences.
at the school. You should really get on the University of Miami.
Nah. It's funny, you know, Frank. I'm glad you're here because you've been driving me nuts
About the
about your book. No, about
Oh,
his
about
book.
his book. I know.
Every day. And every day. It's just, so maybe we can clear up this whole.
No. Frank's book, it's like a portal to the angels. Has anyone ever told you that?
Yeah, more than once.
Really? So, see, and it's not just me. So I read the book and I feel like I've summoned the angels. You saw what a magical day yesterday was here, right?
Did you hit Lotto?
I didn't play because you want to know why I didn't play? I felt like God gave me such a great day. I didn't want to overextend I didn't want to overextend it too much. That's why I didn't play Lotto. I thought it wasn't. How much can you actually really ask for in one day?
Those are all like coincidences that happen, one after
Really?
the other.
No, it's because Frank's book opened a portal and all the angels came.
Frank, you got the Lotto ticket numbers? You got the winning numbers?
So you've heard that
wish.
before?
Excuse me?
You've heard that before? What did people say?
Yeah, that I am the prophet of the angels. That's what people call me.
Yep. You should really read the book. Besides, it's faith, it's spirituality. There's a great story in here. But it talks about being chosen. And the whole book is just amazing. But it's right after Gabriel's Chalice. Now I have to read the next one.
I'm not saying nothing.
But you saw what
Obviously,
happened yesterday.
I saw a couple of things. It was just coincidental. That's all it was.
We even walked in over the weekend, Frank, and the doors are open upstairs. That's all I can tell
That
you.
happens all the time when he gets in here. They look like the Exorcist up there.
So I realized today we are out
He's the only
of
one that gets that joke because he remembers the movie.
we're out of Frank's book. We're out of Operation Retribution. We don't have any more copies. He's going to bring them next time. He's going to put some more out. We've sold out. So if you want copies of the books, we're going to get more of those. But all of Frank's books are available here, and they're signed. We were thinking, Frank, we could even have MagChop sign the next one, so they get a twofer, 2 signatures in one.
Yeah, we could do that.
And you could do that. He's a
could
man
do
of
that.
few words. But you know what I
Many
found out
words.
about Frank?
He's a writer. Many words.
He writes through his words in his book. Everything he has to say is through the books. So if you want to know what he's thinking,
Well,
should
the
read
only
the
thing
books.
I can tell you is that things, ever since Frank comes, things are getting tighter and tighter, and it's getting scarier and scarier politically around the world. And
Oh, did you know there was a meteor shower
No.
starting today, Frank? I finished the book. Meteor shower, April 18th. Beware.
did you know that China had a police force in New York City?
Ask Frank.
Yep.
Did you hear that?
Can you believe that? And no one's claiming rights to it.
The what?
The
In
police
Canada,
force.
too.
I didn't do
Well,
it.
they
I
said
didn't do
that
it.
the Chinese government put a police force in there. Things are heating up with Taiwan. There's all sorts of stupidity. You know what it is? I think that they know that 2024 Biden is not going to be president. And they're just pushing the envelope to the max. Because they're afraid that,
Who's
you know,
they? China?
all these countries. Now Brazil is getting involved. And they're afraid that Trump is going to win again. And there's no nonsense there. Because the man is just, you know, forget about it. He reminds me of Reagan. You remember who was the president when Reagan came in? You remember that whole story, Frank?
The president when Reagan came
Before Reagan.
in? Carter.
Carter, the peanut man. And we had that problem in Iran with the hostages.
Iran-Contra, yeah.
And then Reagan won, and the Iranians were, okay, what do we do now? And Reagan said to them, oh, don't wait for me. You got a big problem coming your way. And they released the hostages. I mean, you know, it's all about leverage. And I just get this feeling that a lot of people want to put Biden around. You saw him yesterday in Italy. He looked like the WWF. He came in, they were playing that music. Da, da, da. And he comes in like this. Did you see it? Looked like the WWF. My goodness gracious, what is going on?
Why? I didn't even see it.
You know what the WWF is?
Yeah, why he
when the
looked like-
wrestlers come in and
They did a whole grand
like
entrance for
Cena
him?
does. He looked like a wrestler. Yeah.
Why?
Because they had these big flags, and you know what I'm talking about. He came in and he's going like this. It's the funniest thing I've ever
I
seen
did
in my
not
life.
even partake in that.
So Frank comes in and everything's out of whack. You got to write a book. How we get it all. No, wait a minute.
He did. You
Hold
got to
it.
read
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
his books.
Wait,
He wrote it.
wait a minute.
You
I
just
take it
haven't
back.
read it.
I take it back. We're going to go back to the dinosaur age if you let him do it his way. I mean, another way. Not that way. Another way. You got to come up with a solution here, my friend.
He has, if you would read the book,
No, that's...
The
that-
Chosen One.
Yeah, I know. You
You
know,
don't
out
wanna
of the
know?
ashes, I can only imagine that the chosen one appears. I don't want to go through ashes.
You don't have to. Trust me.
Guys,
You know, there are no ashes for
it's
you to
really-
go through.
It's really getting
And you know
hot
what
in here.
Christine told me? Chris told me that
Don't
his
worry, I
books,
got Christine. I'm going to go sit over
his-
there with her.
you can
Christine,
watch
you want more
it. You can
coffee?
read them on Kindle. You can read them on your phone.
I don't want. I'm afraid to read it. What's the matter with
There's
you?
no reason to be afraid as long as
I'm
you have
waiting for
faith.
the book that says a miracle happens. The sea is parted and all the bad people go in it.
Read it. And then you'll find the miracle happens and all the bad people go away. Except one.
No, you're not. Boy,
Except
she don't,
one.
She don't get it.
Why?
Okay, we're gonna talk to Frank and maybe she doesn't get it. There's
And-
only one path
Yes.
if you don't listen, right?
There's only one way.
Uh-huh. And I don't want that way, because
Oh.
that way is gonna hurt a lot. Don't you get it? Do you get it? Are you here? What the
No.
hell were you drinking?
I'm still with the angels in Frank's book.
Oh.
I'm going to
Yeah,
stay
you're
in
gonna be
faith
with the
and
angels,
the
all right.
angels.
You ain't lying. It's gonna be all
I'm
sorts of
staying with
chaos.
the angels. But if you act, I told you this morning I was listening to the radio and Elvis Duran was talking about all the miracles that we see every day. Again, makes me think of Frank's books. You have to open your eyes and be grateful for the flowers and the trees and the sunshine, that we're not flooded today, that we have the opportunity to come to this studio and work with amazing guests and our incredible crew. We have that opportunity as a gift, that we should not take it for granted.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are flooded. Denise is flooded. Her house looks. I asked her, "Do you live on the beach? There's more water in her house than there is outside."
But we're not. So
I
appreciate what you
I-
have in
I
life, and you should
understand that.
appreciate the little things that we have.
Those are little problems. There's some big, major problems going on right now. Big. That police thing in New York is unbelievably bad. How the hell do you get away with opening up a Chinese police force in New York City?
You got to ask Richard Sosa about that. How did they get away that nobody knew? Or did they, do you have a mic?
I
You do, okay.
Yeah.
How?
I have absolutely no idea. I left New York a long, long time ago because they didn't know what they were doing up there.
Someone had to know, and it's right around the corner from the police station? Really?
It's insane.
Well, they were
It's
hiding in
insane.
plain sight.
Yes.
You know, you ever heard hiding in plain
Yeah,
sight?
yeah. And you know what? If you want to hide, New York City is probably one of the best places to go. I mean, you know, you got like 10 million, well, not so many anymore because everybody's moving out.
Everyone's here now, yeah.
But yeah, everybody's here now.
Pretty much.
You know, it's like
It's
taking
crazy.
a nuclear weapon and going down Madison Avenue, and I'm Korea, and waving to the people, says, I'm going to kill all of you. And nobody does anything. This is a thing I hated about New York, because I saw muggings, right, happening on the platform of the train. This is one of the reasons I became an auxiliary, because I was one of the few people that jumped in to try to stop these things. Everybody else says, oh, no, not my business. Going like this until it happens to you. So how in the world do you have that kind of state involved in the heart? It isn't like it was in the Bronx, because in the Bronx I could see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Bronx. There's all sorts of countries in the Bronx right now.
Yeah.
A lot of police
South
states.
Bronx, Fort Apache, all that stuff. Yeah.
That's right, all the Indians. But the funny thing is, this is Midtown Manhattan. Midtown. And the building is 8 stories, and it says in Chinese letters, we coming to get you. And you want me to read books. The end is near, my friend.
No, you got to
That
talk.
is near.
You got to talk. Read Frank's books.
That's
I'm
what
reading
he
the
said.
next one.
You don't get it. You're not reading between the lines. There are not going to be any lines.
Those
you keep reading these things.
those who believe get it. Those who don't.
Oh, you're going to get it
No,
already,
other
Lucy.
side.
You're going to get it.
There's not going to be an end. There's going to be a change.
What does that mean, Frank? Tell us about the change.
It's going to be, Earth is not going to end, but there will be a change for those who accept the change. That's all I can
Are
tell
you
you.
working on the next book?
I already wrote the next book. She's working on it.
And does any of that have to do with what's going to happen next?
I can't get into politically, but it has something to do with what we're doing now as a mankind.
So it has some insight as to where we're headed.
It's, yeah, the next book tells you where we're heading.
Is that after Xantha Terra, or that's the next
After
Jack
Xantha
Stenhouse?
Terra.
After. All right. So Xantha Terra is my next one. Josh read that one. Now you got to go backwards and read the first two. Might make more sense.
You read the Santa Terra? How was it?
It was good. We're on Mars, which is basically where we're going. So
Yeah, my son tells me, because he's not working with that part of the space program. Apparently, it's become top secret.
That's why he
Only-
can't tell you.
No, he can't. He doesn't have access. So they
So he says.
changed it. They changed it. Now he's running the mice and all that on the other side. But the thing that's happening in Mars is that they want to build something to go on to other galaxies. So all of a sudden, Star Trek is happening. It's happening.
My son's working on a project where they're going to put a drone on Titan, the moon of Titan.
Saturn's moon.
As long as we don't go to Orion's belt, we're good.
I heard that we can land a spaceship on a meteor. Because they've
Yeah,
done
we're
that
gonna do that
already.
too.
They landed a craft on a meteor. And that the
Where's
meteor
Frank's
will carry
book?
you.
Read it.
Meteors?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now I'm going to go hang out with Laughing Lady over there in the corner. I don't want to know this stuff.
Yeah, but you just got to read it, and then you're going to look at the news. And I'm watching all the current events pop up, meteor shower, all the things that I have on the TV right here. And I just read the book. He opens this whole portal to things, right?
Yeah, I heard this already. I read this already.
It's unbelievable. I know. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. Let Freddie get his thoughts together. When we come back, let's talk about Florida Arts Network and see what's going on with FLOW, F-L-O-W. We'll be right back.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Mellberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
Are you compromising your medical care for doctors out of your network? Are you tired of dealing with referrals to see a specialist? Are you aware that you can save up to $155 a month on your Medicare premiums? You need an all-in-one benefits company that can help with all of your Medicare plan needs. Call today, All-in-One Benefits Group at 954-614-5488. We're here to find an all-in-one plan for you. 954-614-5488. Call today for open enrollment.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
My favorite Martian on the guitar.
Josh Martin in the house. You know, every time I see that picture behind you, I see the story of the picture.
This one?
That one.
That's the Nookie picture. Nookie.
That picture was taken out of a gallery. They told her it was not family friendly. And
I
she
think it's
said,
very friendly.
And she says, but why?
She may be too friendly. Hey, Frank.
The artist said she just didn't feel like learning to paint a hand.
Yeah, but where'd it go?
Wandering
minds want to know.
So I think we have the piece Frank sent us called Flow, F-L-O-W, but we've got, Frank, I'm going to let you do the honors in introducing Alex or Richard, however you want to.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. That's Alex. How's that for an introduction? No, I've known Alex for a little while, and he works with teens, and he deals with a lot of sensitive health topics and everything from bullying to STDs and everything in between. And these videos are shown in schools and stuff, and I think that they have a really great message. And he's a nice guy, and we're planning on doing some work together on some other stuff. So, but I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that. So, without any further ado, Alex.
Good morning, everybody. Ed McMahon over there.
Yeah.
I see that. Alex, welcome to the studio. I love the introduction, but you do more than work with teens. You work with them in a production sense, in movies, or what is it? What are you working with them on?
So how Flow came about, which is Future Leaders of the World, is, Dawn, I have your test results. You've tested positive for, name the STD. And at the clinic at the University of Miami, we're kind of sick of doing that. So we had to think of a way to maybe really engage adolescents in their solutions to the problems that us adults have given them. So that's how Flow was born. In a nutshell, we take a group of students, we teach them health topics, HIV, STDs, substance abuse, sex trafficking, whatever that is. Then each young person in the group has to come up with a raw story on a slice of life, and how would you introduce that topic to your peers. And then they go through professional script development. We teach them how to write scripts. I have a youth advisory board that vets the scripts in the scoring system. Eventually, we end up with scripts that have gone further down in development, where we have a live table read with professional actors, and then the best script from that group gets shot into a professional film.
But wait a minute. Is it a health program or is it a video component?
Both.
In
We've decided to use the arts as the vehicle for teaching health.
But that's different.
Yeah, it's a new way of doing things. We had it evaluated by professors at FAMU up in Tallahassee, and scientifically, we passed all the tests. They actually went to a national conference at the end of the last year to present their findings. So it's something that we just need to expand. We need to do more student groups. We've now produced 7 films. And the other interesting thing is, because I'm in Miami, I use bilingual actors. So if you guys are on set and you do it in English, then we go, okay, próximo tiempo en español. Do the same scene again, but in Spanish.
Now, are these doctors and nurses, or are these actors?
Actors, professional actors that we recruit.
They're in the medical field, but they're not necessarily doctors.
No, we put out a call.
Whoever shows up, shows up.
Yeah, for actors. That's how I met Richard. Richard had actually
But he plays a doctor in a lot of movies.
Well, he had auditioned for one of my roles. That's how I met Richard, almost 2 years ago.
Ah.
So we have, as I said, a system that seems to be working. We have a big premiere Friday night at the University of Miami where we're going to showcase all these films. And the cherry on top of the cake is these films will be used in classrooms as the icebreaker for the topic. So if I'm the teacher today teaching on STDs, I show the flow film, 4 or 5 minutes long, nice and quick, gets the attention of the audience. Then the teacher uses our lesson guides that we've prepared on strategies on how to teach STDs using the film. So they're called education guides, and that's how we're going to enable the community to access these lesson guides and films to teach the topics in their classroom.
We were talking about this morning. The crew said that if you label it educational, they were kidding about watching the birth of a child.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different. When you say teacher, who is the teacher talking to? Doctors? I'm trying to make a connection.
Like high schoolers, right?
Yeah,
so you're
so
in health
for
class and
instance-
you're teaching about STD to a high school
So
student.
it's not the college level, it's the high school
Well, it could be. So for instance, if an educator wants to teach the topic of underage pornography, they would access our lesson guide and film to teach that topic. So it could be middle school, could be high school, could be college. It depends on who the educator is.
Oh, this is different.
And
Yeah, as I
they're
said.
written by teens? The
So
content is
the
done by
content of
teens?
the pilot study was through teens. And then the last film we shot actually was, I'd written it with another comedian writer in Atlanta. But now that we're going into Flow 3.0, it will be strictly teen content because now we've worked out the system. We're on the verge, touch wood, somewhere, touch wood, that we're going to get funding to start again in June. And it's actually funding from DCF, who have a grant from the SAMHSA federal study, Substance Abuse Mental Health Service Administration, to allow us to do 2 more projects, which will be 4 films, but it will be strictly on substance abuse mental health and strictly from a teen group. The content can only come from teenagers.
Do you remember as a kid in health class or in high school, I don't know if they had them. I remember Aaron used to tell me they would get them on how to use a condom, what not to do with a
I
condom.
never had that.
I don't know what they're doing. Chelsea says no, Josh says yes.
You guys had that?
I had it in kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
How to use a condom?
How to buy a condom?
I had it in kindergarten, middle school, and high school.
In condom.
What'd they teach you? What?
I wanna go to
Well,
your
they didn't
school.
teach us how to put on a condom in 5th grade, but what they taught us was just the basics of
What it's for.
hitting puberty and what's going to come and all that,
That
basically.
I had. We had sex education, not in kindergarten though.
Yeah.
It
But
was like
nothing
in
on
7th
bullying.
grade.
I guess bullying was a big topic.
No.
STDs?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not in my world.
Really? The Bronx didn't have STDs?
No.
No,
We
like
played this retreat.
in my school, like we had to learn about it, and like they also showed us quote unquote the birth video, and like they just like, and then the teacher, like he was like a chill guy. He was like, if any of you guys have questions, write down honestly, and I'll answer them like truthfully. So like he was just being honest about it. He was being real because like we're high schoolers, we're freshmen, like we know about it, but we don't know to the extent. So it's really good to be educated on that type of stuff because a lot of kids just do it because they don't get the education, and then they get a lot of STDs. Like my cousin, like she works for the Florida Health Department, so like she gets all these people, all these like teenagers with STDs multiple times because they're just not educated on it. So it's important for this
that
video.
I can see where this program will really enhance because for some reason you're not allowed to talk about certain things in school.
Yes,
know?
these days, especially in
These
the state of
days,
Florida.
They're taking out Dr. Seuss. I mean, if you can't read Dr. Seuss, how the hell are you going to learn about a condom? Is what I'm saying, right? So I would love to see the enhancement of this stuff or where you place it. And a lot of parents don't want to talk to their kids about sex education anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that anymore.
What's happened is, if you look at the data in the last 10 to 15 years, South Florida now leads the nation in most health disparities. Sex trafficking, we rank number 2, but it's hard to quantify because most people don't come forward with that. STDs is easy to quantify, how many people have tested positive and treated. We're number 1 in the nation for HIV infection rates. We're number
Florida
1
is?
for... No, I'm talking about South Florida.
South Florida is.
South Florida.
South
that's
Florida
not
is
even
bad.
Florida.
Like
Broward and Miami-Dade
Broward
makes
is
South Florida.
bad with STDs.
So we rank number 1 and number 2 in pretty much all those health disparities. So again, as a health educator and as an adult, I've got a 15-year-old daughter hitting that kind of difficult age. I'm at the point where we need to do something that's going to bring young people to be the solution makers to these problems. And we've chosen the arts as the vehicle. Film is a great way to tell stories. It's a great way to influence young minds in maybe making better decisions if they're in a sticky situation. And that's what it really comes to, is that we're giving young people a different way to look at health through film.
What are the topics that you're covering on Friday?
So the showcase of the films we've done are a film on STDs, HIV, underage pornography, and coming out. We have a story about a single dad who struggles to accept his daughter coming out of the closet. And then we have about 6 other scripts in development, touching on topics like, again, like Richard had said, sensitive health topics. We have one called No Convince Me, and it's a story of like a he said, she said situation on a date rape from a very different perspective. Brilliant writer, actually, guy from New York. We have, with the funding that's coming from SAMHSA, we'll be doing our next year only on mental health and substance abuse, which goes into all different topics as well.
That's huge. I mean, that's everything that everyone's dealing with.
Yeah.
Teens, 20s, 30s, but it starts so young.
Yes, middle school.
And the other side is how to deal with people that have mental health. You know, our guys in blue having a hard time deciding, let me shoot this guy 49 times because he's running. And you know, when I was growing up, you never shot anybody. I don't care if you were a cop from the back, but things have changed. Apparently, I don't know, I'm not educated enough to see these things. So, you know that bullying now is number 2, fear among kids going to school. You know what number 1 is?
Gun
Guns.
violence.
So there's a lot of aspects that I'm trying to, because we have to educate parents, you know, it starts there. And a lot of parents don't want the education. They sort of run away from hearing that maybe they're doing it wrong. Can you imagine somebody telling you, yo, homie, come here. You're doing it all wrong. What do you mean you're letting your kid run wild at midnight?
But parents, in all fairness, you don't know what your kid, you're the first to say you don't know
If
your
your kid
kids.
ain't home and it's midnight, you got a problem. Let's start with the basics, right? Let me see report cards. Go visit your teachers. Just different things. I think this will help parents understand what's going on around them.
Yeah, I would like to do more work with parents. Again, because parents are so busy, it's hard to get them in a room and do education. So I do work with a private school down in Miami-Dade, and they employ me to teach all the boys in the school, and then my last class is with parents. So
I was
that's
going to ask
something.
you the different socioeconomics of Miami-Dade, because that's where you are. Do you
Yes.
find a difference in who's receptive, your data, and where the films are going to be showed? Is it a disparity or no?
No, because I think, again, utilizing the arts levels the playing field. So if I've got students at a A school down in Pinecrest as opposed to students in a D school in Little Havana, the arts levels that playing field. And all students have some creativity. It's a case of how do you get it out of them? How do you give them the tools to, you know, self-efficacy? I've got the belief that I can now do this because that's what we instill in them. So we, even though we're teaching health for the first 8 weeks, we're still touching on other issues that's going to help them once they get to the script writing part of it.
Where are they showing that? Do they need to come to your clinic to see the films, or are you just disseminating them throughout the school system?
So as of Monday, after the premiere, we'll have all the curriculum guides and films on our website. And then through our connections through school systems and colleges, we'll allow people just to access them that way. And then future projects, especially through the SAMHSA funding, we're actually going to do a recruitment and just put ads out there. So students that Richard may know can join the group, and they'll spend a whole year with us on developing the next wave of scripts.
How long are these films?
So each film has to be under 7 minutes because of attention span in a classroom.
Yeah.
So that's why they're short and sweet and to the point.
How many do you cluster in a showing?
So my student groups are typically like one classroom of 20 or 30 kids. My pilot study was with foster care kids. I only had like 7 students as a pilot study. This wave of the SAMHSA funding, I think the funder wants a group of 12 students. So again, it'll be more about students will apply and it'll be almost like a job application, because we are going to compensate them for their time as they go through the whole process, because each project takes 6 months of their lives.
But,
so they've got
but
to
Friday you have an event, right?
Yeah, so Friday's the showcase where it's like a movie premiere,
How
red
many?
carpet affair,
How many are going to be shown that Friday?
all the 7 films.
So you got 7 films. So, so you got about 49 minutes showing, an hour around there.
Yeah.
I would like, and did you pick the one film that's going to be the number one film of those 7, or each one?
No, each one is independently very good. Teaches the topic on hand. Some people have seen the previous 5 films because we've made those over the last 2 years. And then the last one that we just edited finally yesterday, no one's seen it yet. So that will be the last 2 films.
And do
we'll
they
show.
have titles of what the 7 are going to be? There's a reason I'm asking.
Yeah, so on our social media and websites, we constantly are announcing what they are. Out and Afuera is about the coming out story. Rumors or Rumores is about STDs. Two Similar Strangers about HIV. And Las Chicas, the Calientes de Educación, and generally Hot Girls Do Education is about underage pornography.
I got to tell you, for me, some of the kids in here, some of the producers in here are doing movies. And the one that Mayor submitted to be looked at was a great piece. And I see more and more of what they're doing. And I want to sell the urgency. I want to sell the check this out because you don't have enough information. And if you're doing it wrong, here's a way of seeing it. But I want to do it backwards. I want to sell the urgency that you should be there. That if you're not there, you're missing the boat. And if you're missing the boat again and again and again, and something does happen in your circle, which is your family or your kids, you got no one to blame but yourself. So I kind of like it if you had the subject matter of what it's going to be and pushing out the urgency, like Frank's books, which it makes me very nervous when he comes in here because he's going to tell me one day, well, tomorrow's the day. That's it, I'm done. But the urgency is really an important factor.
Yes.
Of what you're doing. STDs has urgency to it. All of these.
Yeah, absolutely.
things
And I
that you
think
mentioned.
what will happen is once we start really marketing our distribution plan, hopefully every classroom has access to the films, whether they're allowed to teach them or not, because each principal's the king of the castle or queen of the castle. So even though we have Florida statutes that say you can teach these topics,
They won't.
each principal, rules their
won't.
kingdom.
They won't do it.
Some won't, some will.
Times have changed.
Well, it's Friday night, 6 o'clock.
Yes, at the University of Miami Bill Cosford Theater, you can go to our Instagram account, which is flow_helpin. And on there's a flyer concerning the details of the event Friday night.
I want to send Ashley, my daughter-in-law, she's a mental health counselor for Matter.
Sweet.
So it would be
That
great
could
for
be-
her.
It could be important. Back in the day, remember that black and white film they had about sex education? I think in our day, every school in New York saw this thing.
Can't you hear the reel of the movie running in your head,
and
right?
it was
Yeah,
grainy,
yeah.
and you
It was
looked
really
up and said,
grainy and- oh, yeah,
what the
production
hell
value
are
was
they
horrible.
talking about? It was the only film. I think the schools borrowed
I think
it.
it was on Leave It to Beaver, and then we still saw it, yes.
Yeah.
That was
Probably.
Right?
that was the length of sex education. So I went home and I said to my mom, I said, Mom, where do babies come from? She started running around the
But
apartment
think
like
about it,
something was going on.
that's all we were taught. We weren't taught about bullying, STD. HIV came out when I was at University of Miami, and it was this big taboo. There was still no education on it. Sex trafficking, I learned more about this from Frank and Stuck in Traffic and what's happening in Florida as an adult. When I found out Boca and Fort Lauderdale are #1 in one of the high schools, in a high school here, in the hotels off of Glades Road, are not part of it, but kids are being brought there as part of sex trafficking. It's appalling, but they're not taught it. And if they are taught it, they need to find a way out. They need a safe space. So if they're being sex trafficked, and I'll talk to Frank about this, where do the kids go? Because some of the girls, that's their only safe space, right? They come from a bad home. They're out on the street, they get caught up with a bad situation, but you don't know where you can go to be safe. So sometimes what you know is safer than you think what you don't know.
So Dawn,
So
there
what's
is
next?
some hope for that. So we're one of the founding members at UM of Project Thrive. It's a very long acronym. and it's basically takes sex trafficking survivors and puts them through medical checkups and healthcare, and then placement in a safe home, and then placement somewhere else in the country away from everything.
That's amazing.
So it's run by the State Attorney's Office of Catherine Rendell Fernandez, has about 14 agencies.
Wow.
Everything runs from a grant, so that's one good thing that has come about in the
We should
last
be
10
promoting
years.
that. That's tremendous. Because if you don't know, and you think you come from a broken home and you think this guy is your end all be all, even though you feel this isn't right, but you don't know where else to go, this
Things take
opportunity
time
gives them a
because
chance.
If you think of a young girl maybe picked up for prostitution, in the old days they would just get shackled, sent to the detention center, serve you 21 days, then go in front of a judge. Now they go to the JAC, the Juvenile Assessment Center. Their mental health counselors interview them. They spend 6 hours going through all these different testing, and then they're taken out. They don't go through detention anymore, and they go through Project Thrive instead.
That's
so
incredible.
things are changing slowly. Going back to what you'd said earlier about like the political landscape and the climate, people don't realize about how important the vote is, because if we have the right like-minded people in power, things like Project Thrive would be in every single county in Florida and every single state of the country. But it isn't, because again, it goes back to things like funding and the political scene.
When I was in the Bronx, I have friends in the 3-4 and the 4-4. I have friends all over these precincts. And because they're dealing with some heavy stuff, murders and all that, they didn't really look at what was happening in the schools. I'm talking about between 9 and 12th grade, not high school, junior high school. So I noticed, I think I told you the story, that they used to wear these bands. They had colors. Remember this? So I thought it was kind of cool to have all these colored bands. So I used to tell the kids that went to that school, hey, I want to get some bands. And they all looked at me. See, he knows. And they all looked at me. And they said, I said to my football player, says, what's the problem? Why can't I get bands? No, you coach, you don't want to do that. I said, why? So they take me to the school. Every one of those bands was a sexual act that was being conducted in the school. So if you had a black band, you did anal. If you did other things, you had different colors. So you walk into the school and you just stay there and watch. I was talking to security. And the girls that had all these bands, we used to bring them over. So I went to the 4-0 in the Bronx. I went to my friends and I put a box of bands. I said, do you guys know what's going on? Freddie, we know what's going on, but we don't have enough manpower to take care of that situation. Okay? So here we go. They know what's going on. They didn't have enough manpower to do this stuff, and it was rampant. So you want to talk about STDs, you want to talk about pregnancy, you want to talk about prostitution, you want to talk about all these problems. But we're breeding it in the schools. We're not stopping it. We're not educating them. So when I had my kids, I used to go and talk to their parents. I said, do you know what these bands mean? Not one parent knew. Not one knew what was going on. Until I said, well, I took this off your daughter. You want to ask her? And we brought her in. And she says, oh, it's just bands. I said, do you want me to bring the guys in? Because I can do that too. So there used to be a program called Scare Straight in New York City. Remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
Scare Straight used to take you to the precinct and take you into the jails, and they used to scream at kids and tell them, I'm a gangster, and you're doing what? And they used to make you pee in your pants, if not worse. You remember the program.
Yeah, I do.
Program lasted a year, and every leftist came up and said, you got to stop doing that. Scare Straight doesn't work. It's just making them worse, which isn't true. So they shot one at the 3-4 where I was at. And I saw them film this thing. Curtis Wheeler was there also. And I saw this whole thing about scaring kids straight in prisons. Take them to a prison and let them spend a night in a prison. And these guys were all convicted felons. They weren't going nowhere. And they scared them straight. I'm going to tell you, that program worked.
Yeah, it did.
But that system is worse because it leaves a bad mark that you're doing something wrong and somebody's smacking
But
you.
this is more of an inclusion system,
But
which
this is
nice.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, again, it's just a new possible solution to the problems that us adults have given our adolescents. So we're trying, and again, hopefully with funding we get bigger and better budgets to make bigger and bolder films. We want to push the envelope with the films, but everything is PG because we want them to be shown in schools.
And what's the website?
The website would be www.futureleadersoftheworld.org.
Nice. All right,
It's a long
check
one,
it
I
out.
know.
And we'll put up
Thank you.
the invitation or
Sure.
give people the information.
Yeah, thank
Friday
you.
night, the 21st, University of Miami, 6 o'clock. Josh? Oh, I thought you were going to say something. All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, oh, we're not, okay.
Scared me.
I am going to say something, actually. Spotify, if you guys have Spotify, or are we on Apple Music too?
Yes.
We are on Apple Music, I guess, well, too. But we are now on Spotify to check out our podcast, so you can check us out on there. Or if you want to be on Spotify yourself, you can come down to the Brooklyn Cafe and have your own podcast to be out and share your voice with everyone out there. Do you have anything to say?
So today we have more shows, like the Meta Lifestyle show here at 3 with Karina Felix. So stick around for like another hour, and you'll have a great time learning what Karina has to say. So you guys go to commercial now.
We'll be right back.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
Would you like to hear better for as little as 10 cents a day? Now you can with the all-new Audion hearing aids. The average hearing aid lasts about 3 years. Ours, at only $99 a pair, means you're paying as little as 10 cents a day to hear better. And to make things even better, we'll give you a 45-day money-back guarantee. Skip the doctor and get hearing aids delivered straight to your door. We've eliminated all the middlemen to offer you a factory direct price of only $99 a pair. Join over 300,000 people just like you who took advantage of our 45-day trial offer. Now you can hear better too for just 10 cents a day. Call now and order your $99 pair of Audion hearing aids with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Plus, get free 3 to 5 day shipping.
800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. That's 800-259-1328.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
Brand new shows, only on AMP2 TV. We have All-in-One Insurance, Latin Hustle con Karen, Meta Magazine Show, Pitch 2 Production, The Florida Love Show, The Sixth Borough, Meet the Experts, Reinvented Life, Lights in the Night, and The Hangout. Tune in so you don't miss these amazing new shows. Only on AMP2 TV.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Away from negative
Baby's coming in 15 minutes.
That's what they say. He's been a wise guy. 15
minutes?
Yeah, he thinks it's like ordering a pizza. I remember Michelle worked the hospital for 21 hours. How did they know in 15 minutes is going to be born?
She must be at a certain situation.
There's no such thing.
If she's dilated to a certain
Okay,
centimeter,
so then begins the process. You don't know 15 minutes is going to happen. Get out of here. I was born at night, but not last night.
You never know what's going to happen. So more to come with that. Well, I'm glad that Chris asked you that question because I'm thinking 6 o'clock to get here to Miami, but if it's really to get people in their seats at 6 and it's Miami time at 7, gives people a little bit more time
What
to get
day
down
of the
to
week
Miami
is it?
Friday night.
Yeah, you have to leave Thursday night.
Metro. You got to take You got to take.
You could
Brightline.
You could take a plane.
Brightline.
No, it doesn't matter.
Why?
You got to leave Thursday night. Why? Well, let me see. The Heat are in the playoffs. The Marlins are playing baseball. Remember that? The Marlins, it took us 3 hours.
Negative. What's with your
Miami's the worst to
negativity?
get into. You got to leave very early.
Frank, can you write a book about this situation?
Frank, back me up.
The Freds.
You have you take the day off. You have a nice breakfast. You leave. You get down there. You have a nice lunch or early dinner, and then you go to the event. Otherwise, you're gonna miss the event. I mean, do what you want. Miami's dangerous on Friday.
Miami-Dade is. I think Miami-Dade rocks at the list as the top 10 in traffic problems in the United States.
I thought Manhattan was better. At least in Manhattan, you can get in and out, trains and stuff like that. But Miami,
They've all left. They're here now.
you're all there.
Everyone left New York, and they're all here now.
No, Miami is bad.
Miami's tough on a Friday.
My sister in Miami for 2 months. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I couldn't wait. It was crazy.
We went to see the Mets and Marlins, and we got there in the 4th inning. And I left 3 hours before. All those bridges, they built that thing in an island. There's nothing surrounded but bridges. Just get there early. Leave nice and early so you can get there on time, and then you're going to enjoy it. It's a beautiful school.
Have you been?
Of course.
It is beautiful. The cinema must be new because it's got a different name. When I was there, it was a different. I don't remember what it was called back in the day.
It's a nice school. It's a nice environment, nice place. It reminds me of NYU.
It could, but I've never
Concrete.
been to NYU. It is concrete.
Concrete.
What's happening with Florida Arts Network, gentlemen?
Yeah, where are we?
Okay, so Florida Arts Network right now, we're trying to. We've got a million things that we're trying to get off the ground here. Most of them are centered around funding, because anybody that runs a nonprofit will tell you nothing happens without the money, right? And so we're looking into getting a fundraiser going. We're looking into curriculum that we can put together for teaching, whether it be online or at schools or off campus, this kind of thing. I've been talking to a few people. For example, I was talking to a photographer friend of mine, and I asked him if he would be willing to teach like maybe a 6-week introductory course for Photoshop, or actually GIMP. GIMP is like the free version of Photoshop. It works a lot. It has a lot of the same functionality, but it's free. And you might have some kids that they can't afford the hundreds and hundreds of dollars that you need to pay to get Photoshop, so they can learn with GIMP. It's a marketable skill, right? They can make money doing it, and then when they have the money, then they can go and get the Photoshop. Or I was talking to a director friend of mine. Hey, would you be willing to teach video editing? And then I've been talking to a couple of DJs about putting a fundraiser together. So these are all different things that we've kind of got brewing in the pot. We're trying to find a location where we can do a lot of this stuff. So yeah, it's been a little crazy. We finally got like all our board of directors and all this other good stuff. So.
What kind of location? Because you were looking for a movie theater.
Yeah.
That's a different. Something different.
Well, that's our preference.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to try and get that movie theater if we can get that. If we can't get it, we have to find some other place that has room where we can, maybe teach classes or, have do a small premiere for a local filmmaker, this kind of thing.
There's a place in East Fort Lauderdale where Mama Ali always has her stuff. I can't think of, and you would know it. It's like a cultural arts center, ArtServe.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with ArtServe.
They might have, because they do
Yeah.
a lot of events, and I think they've got classrooms, and they might be able to have a premiere for you.
Okay, yeah.
Check that out.
That's a good idea, because I've been to ArtServe.
Check that out.
and
I've never been, but I just know what comes through here, the events that come through here, a lot of them are through ArtServe.
Yeah, we used
the
to have
Florida
meetings
Table used to
there.
have meetings at the ArtServe because
Yeah.
the person now that's sort of the manager in charge of the Savoy used to be the manager at ArtServe. So
Yeah, and I've known him for years.
So they might be able to help you out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Why didn't you think of that?
I wanted to add something to what Richard had said. So we've been talking, and one of the things we want to do with Flow is have our student writers have a pathway to employment in the industry. So yes, you accomplish now, but when you were in high school, what opportunities did you have? So if we team up with FAN, then I can have guest speakers coming in, not only to talk about this is what an actor likes in a script, this is how a director envisions this and this, but when we go on set, all the young students will be the assistant to the DP, the assistant to hair and makeup, and then switch around each day, so that at the end of everything, not only have they been involved in development of a script that's going to be shot into a film, but they're on set helping get the film made, so that they have, like Richard has said, skills to market themselves for possible future employment.
And they can learn the terminology on set, because it's like, what's a gaffer? Most people, you mentioned gaffer, they don't know it's a lighting guy.
How many people we come in
what's
here
a grip, best
and
boy?
tell us we say, what's your skill? And they said, I'm a really good gaffer.
Yeah.
We had, 3 in the past month? And we said, okay, what
Well,
else
you
do you
gotta
do?
know
Because
how to,
that's
you
it.
gotta know how to gaff.
Yeah.
You had a gaff ready?
Well, you don't want to be in the shot. You got to know a little something.
Yeah.
You can't put it down because it's.
I'm not at all, but it's funny. That's what they all tell us they do well.
I think that the missing ingredient here, guys, is that you got to have an environment that is constantly teaching the deal. What I love about what we do is we're constantly teaching it, and then they'll come in and they'll teach us something, and then we'll share that juice. But it has to be a constant flow.
Yeah.
So that people that are making movies and what have you will know, go there and pick up what you need. A camera guy, an artist, some of the pieces, the music that they're doing, the music videos and stuff. You come here and you can sort of pick out what you need, models and everything else. This is what Mega Chop was telling me. He says, you have like a factory where people could come, voiceovers. Some of these kids in here can sound like children, real live for the voiceovers. So you got to create that environment.
They can do the little kid voices.
Something like that. They pay you
Or they can be the old man.
They pay you $20,000 to do that on TV. But the funny thing is you're right. You sort of back in to a career because you're in an environment where you're going to constantly be training and doing the things that make you good.
Yeah, and you said something interesting just now, where like you can learn something from some of these people that are
Absolutely.
coming in. I mean, you're never so old or so experienced that you can't learn something. I learned one of my biggest life lessons from one of my sons when he was only 6 months old. So it's crazy, And then once you have this attitude of like, oh, I don't need to know. I don't need to hear from this guy, or
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. You're toast. You're
We learn
toast.
so much from our crew every day.
Yeah.
And it's
I
not
believe it.
just production. It's not just editing. That's just the business side of it. But you learn humanity. They
Mhm.
learn how to talk to each other, how to interact with each other. Diversity and inclusion of everyone that's in the studio. Everyone here is unique and they've got different needs. And I get to sit back and watch them help each other and
Yeah.
teach each other.
Yeah.
And when we're out here, it's not even us. It's what they do for each other now.
My son is 27, 28 Geo. And we were having a conversation about the movies that we went to on Friday. And we were talking about how you talk to people, not to your phone, not to your fingers,
Yeah.
but how you talk to people. And what our producers, what we're trying to do is we're trying to expose them to talk more to people. Because in this business, you have a wealth of information. but you have it inside. And you have to be able to spread that love so that people understand it. So here's my 20-year-old kid. When he was 14, he taught me about streaming, taught me how to make a living at this thing. And he's telling me, you know, what they don't understand is how good they have it. Because you're giving them years of experience. You're telling them, listen, don't do it this way, or try this way. You're asking them to meet people. When they get older, they understand what it is. He says, Dad, I wish I knew you when I was 21 there.
Yeah.
Because he stayed in school. He says, if I had been, I'd be further along in not only doing the things that you guys are doing, but then you have to promote it, you have to display it, you have to explain it. And at that young age, you know, a lot of people look at them and say, oh, it's like Doogie Howser in the medical field, right? You're a doctor? I got a kid that's older than you. And do you trust them with your life? Same thing in the media business. And they're getting younger and younger. But my God.
We're just getting older and older.
No, they're getting younger. But my God, they can come up with things that are just unbelievable. I have an idea in the back of my head that I'm going to have you guys come in one day. You're going to put on 3D glasses. And you watch what happens in this place. Because it can be done. Whereas before, when we started 3 years ago, people says, are you crazy? You can't do that. No, you can.
It's crazy. I was at a cryptocurrency convention back in August, and I saw the future of art in the metaverse. It's absolutely insane, the stuff that's coming up.
It's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
What you got? Is that a telescopic lens? What you got? You got a picture of my brain?
Oh my God.
That's a long lens. Are you compensating? No. Was I allowed to say that? I'm sorry. I have no filter. You know.
That's a good point. You know, it's funny. That camera that's here has a lens that was made just like that lens. Mm-hmm. It was made for stadiums. So when we bought it, this lens went right through us. Remember this? We didn't understand lenses because we always use automatic.
Well, we
venues.
bought that pre-COVID when we were heading to Meisner Park.
And we were going to do Meisner from the back, so we needed a telescopic lens, which is what this camera does. We didn't know the difference between one lens or the other.
Yeah, I don't. I leave that to the DP, and you know, I don't worry
but when
too
you're
much about
teaching,
any of that stuff.
when you're teaching kids on how to use it, that we have to lift this camera to move it back, there's a reason for it. And it isn't because we want it. I just didn't want to invest another $600 in a smaller lens to move it back. Because these things, they get expensive, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's crazy. In fact, one of the things that I tell a lot of indie filmmakers is when you're looking for crew, try to find crew that already has their own equipment. Oh, yeah. Because equipment rental,
it's crazy.
Yeah, renting a camera can run you $3,000 a week, and then that's even without the lenses. So it's like,
you know, I'm so happy you said that, because Freddie buys things that we don't use, because I know eventually we're going to use it.
Yeah.
So there's a sound recorder that Mayor showed me yesterday, which I'm in love with. I want to use it because I want to be able to do film holding a gaff, you know, having the sound on one side and separating the video from the audio and putting it together, which in my day, I didn't do that. My son says this is the way you're supposed to do, but I did it the other way, which is not always convenient. But I found a piece of equipment that I may end up buying and it'll sit on the shelf. Dawn will tell you, we got so much equipment in this place, and they don't understand the reason why. Because as the technology gets better, you're going to need these wires to be able to carry it. And those wires are going to get expensive. So a $10 wire now is $100. In the future, it's going to be $1,000. But because I bought it, and some of it is still in its original
like a forever
package.
Stamp.
Yeah.
I
Forever.
think stamps are now what, 63 cents or something crazy?
It's insane. I like email personally.
I know. We have a whole loft of equipment, and as we rotate crews every season, if they don't go up there, they don't know what we have. So they say, oh, we need this and this. We said, now you got to go up there and find it, because we've accumulated so much.
Yeah.
You don't even know. Over the weekend, they went to do that shoot for the music video. They came in and they took these cameras, and they must have used them with SD cards, and came back and put them back.
Well, we're gonna have a little chit chat about that.
Camera rentals.
Oh, someone just got thrown under the bus.
Listen, I was on a shoot, and the camera's still in the back, and I knocked one down here and broke it. That was $2,000. We went on a shoot. We didn't tie the sandbag to a camera. It was windy. Now you would think, right? Come on now. And we broke that one.
Yep.
So we've lost $5,000 in cameras. So it isn't that I don't want them to do it. I just want to know who's taking it and who's going to sign their life away if it breaks. That's all. Yeah. Other than that, I'm good to go. Good to go.
All right, you want to take your commercial break?
No, I want to know who took what where. Yes, let's take a commercial break.
Mom's on the set. Mom's lips are sealed. More to come.
And they don't tell me nothing. You notice that?
888-994.
Was that you that took the camera?
Studio A. We'll be right back.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days. All in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 855-993-2180. That's 855-993-2180. Again, 855-993-2180.
Come on down to the Brooklyn Cafe and enjoy our delicious 100% Arabica organic coffee. You can also tune into the Brooklyn Cafe show and have the chance to win a free bag. For more information on how to get your own bag, check us out at thebrooklyncafe.tv.
Do you enjoy watching the Brooklyn Cafe show? Well, now you can represent your admiration with our merchandise. We have amazing t-shirts in a variety of sizes for you and your friends. Shop now at brooklyncafe.tv/shop.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing, what's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Brooklyn Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out, thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought. You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I'm on the air, yes. I'm letting the world know that Juliana is in the house.
Congratulations.
The baby's healthy?
Woo-hoo!
That's right. I need video now. Video at 5.
First granddaughter.
Is it a girl?
She, a girl?
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
I was wrong.
You were wrong.
I
was
thought
right.
I was going to be right.
No.
Juliana's in the house. All right, congratulations,
How's
buddy.
everyone feeling?
Everybody's good? Everybody's good.
Fantastic.
All right, I'll call you after the show.
Enjoy.
Right.
Wow.
There you have it.
There you have it. Now we smiles.
Maybe I could sleep tonight. All right, good. Good stuff.
Once a parent and a grandparent, you never sleep right again.
Well, in our day, I hear
I guess
about.
we got breaking news. More than Juliana.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but we have some breaking news over here. So, Mike the Money Coach. That's my button.
I guess you didn't know this was coming.
Thank you.
It looks absolutely delicious.
Period T.
Oh, that's what the cake was for. I was like, why does Bailey have a cake?
We got some other breaking news, and Katie Zivley has been with us for a year as one of the Brooklyn Cafe Show's most amazing producers, editor of our newsletter. She works on our website. She runs our morning show every day. And today is her last official day with us. And we love you. We miss you already. You always have a home with us.
So the breaking news is on you.
We certainly wouldn't be where we are without everything that you've done for us, including the buzzer. It's going to be called the Katie buzzer from now on. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
What are you doing next? I'm going to Disney World. No, really, what are you doing next?
I'm gonna go to class, and then I'm gonna go home, and then we'll go from there. Oh, I am moving into a new apartment, but not yet.
She's going to pursue a career in journalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, script writers, magazine writers. You got a room full of people that can use your skills. So don't forget us. And Katie is, Sugar is her middle name.
It's in my blood.
Enjoy.
That's what my mom says.
Josh and Mayor kind of figured out what to get for you, so you can thank them.
That's Katie.
I will. I will. Thank
All
you
right.
very much for the. I might.
You should.
And now, on with your breaking news. What do we have?
On with the breaking news. You caught me off guard. Today at 4 p.m. we have Mike the Money Coach here in the studio. So tune in at that time. And
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to remind you again that before that, it's the Meta Lifestyle Show with Karina Felix. So just keep at 3 o'clock. Yeah, just keep on coming back to for all our shows. So
Keep on
yeah,
watching.
back to you guys.
Keep on watching. More and more content coming out of the studio.
I know. Mike the Money Man.
Mike the Money
Interesting.
Coach. I'm glad he's doing it today because you know what today is?
It's Tuesday.
Tax day.
Tax day.
Tax day. For those of you that
Oh,
have
yeah.
not filed something, just file something, even if it's an extension. Just do something.
Just remember, if you file an extension at the end of the game, you owe money. You have to pay interest starting from midnight tonight until the day you pay it. Don't get mad if you do what you got to do. I read from H&R Block that 40% of the population has what they call negative returns. In other words, they didn't pay taxes all year and they still get a refund.
How's that?
I don't know.
They have to be below a certain level, I guess?
I don't know. I was shocked when I read it, but apparently it's true. So
40%? I don't know. You know what happened
That's
in
40
Florida is
people.
we got the extension from last year from 21 to October and then till February because of the hurricane that hit the west coast of Florida. So some people, like me, didn't file 21 until February. And then yesterday came along and Chuck says, what do you mean we have to file 22 by tomorrow? I'm like, we got to file 22 by tomorrow. So just don't get caught up in that, but you got to do what you got to do.
And I got to tell you something. If anybody out there knows about homeowner insurance, call me.
It's going up.
I cannot believe what is happening with that racket.
It's going up. I think I saw another 10%.
I can't afford to pay what they want.
You got to move.
I'm gonna put a penny in the breaker because I can't afford it. I'm telling you right now, this is crazy. So what happens if they throw this on you and you can't afford it? What do? You fall behind?
I think you get Citizens.
Citizens?
You go
Okay,
into the
if I
pool.
could.
You go into the insurance pool.
Yeah, I think this is Citizens. It is ridiculous what they're doing. Unheard of, uncharted territory from what I've seen. This is nuts.
I don't know. So everything's going up.
Going up. See gas? Took me 45 minutes to get a tank of gas.
Did you read Frank's book?
All right, let me ask you a
Just
question.
gone full
saying.
circle here.
I don't know how you knew
Let's
what
talk to
gas was
this
going
guy.
to cost when you wrote that book. Is all I
don't get you. Don't you have any good news?
Yes, the end of the book is very good.
Yeah, there's good news coming.
Oh, good
But you
news.
got to go through the bad news first.
But you got to have faith.
I'm not going to have any money for gas. I'm not going to have any money for house insurance. I'm not going to have a house pretty soon. And then you can't sleep on the beach anymore. It's illegal.
Illegal. You don't want to sleep on the beach. Did you see the seaweed mess in Fort Lauderdale? Apparently, there's just a mound of seaweed that washed up. It's a
Yikes.
mess.
Where did that
Did you
seaweed-
read Frank's book?
That's in there too? The seaweed is in there
The
too?
Gulf Stream's in there. It's all in there. The mess in Central Florida that we just had, I don't want to say. I don't even know how you knew that mess was going to be there. I'm telling you. I don't know how this man knows. Well, we know how he knows, but it's amazing. You got to read it.
All of Frank's books can be found in the lobby. If you want one, come get it. Yeah.
Right?
But imagine having like a little microcosm into what's going to happen next.
I don't
You
know
just
if I want to have a microcosm.
Why? Why? It's
Because
all.
it's gonna give me a micro heart attack.
It's not bad.
It ain't good.
If you are chosen and you have faith, then you're in
Or
good
you're
shape.
chosen to have faith.
What's the problem? You're just negative.
No, I'm not negative. It's that.
Negativity.
Wow. Thank you
But
for
it's all
sharing,
in-
Frank.
it's all in
Really
Frank's book.
appreciate it.
What year did you write this one? Tres
The one you
Archangelis?
just read?
Yeah.
2010?
2010. I know.
So the writing on the walls.
I know. I'm going to read the next one, Xanthotera.
Let's go back to making movies. I don't want to go down this road. So what's happening with the movie making piece of your books? Where are we with that?
Well, we're working on Stuck in Traffic.
Yeah, we met with LJ, and we had like a little pre-production meeting, and we talked about some of like what our expectations are, and what the path that we want to take, and he's in the middle of another project right now, but as soon as he gets back, we're gonna sit down and start talking about scenes, locations, all that kind of
And
stuff.
then we, Tanya.
Yeah.
That was a. That was
Yeah,
out of-
that
no,
kinda-
that was a weird story right there.
Yeah, yeah. This other woman, Tanya Aiken. She's a filmmaker. She lives up in Atlanta, and she wound up contacting
She contacted
Frank?
me.
Yeah.
And said we weren't friends on Facebook. She contacted me. She sent me a message and said, "I need to talk to you about a screenplay that I received from Rose Warner." And Rose Warner was the person that I finished her screenplay, and she was right before she died. So I contacted Richard and I said, "Do you know this Tanya Aikman?" And he goes, "No, not really. I don't remember." I said, "Well, she contacted me on Facebook and said she wants to talk to me about a screenplay she got from Rose Warner."
And then that's when I was like, oh yeah, because I hadn't spoken to Tanya in years, and so
I was going to say,
yeah,
is Rose
she's
sending
legit.
screenplays out from the grave is what I'm thinking
That's
you're
what I
going
was
to tell
saying.
me
I said,
next.
"Wait a minute. How does she's been she's been passed quite a while?" So when I contacted her, same screenplay.
Yeah, Stuck in Traffic.
So what happened?
Well,
we're trying to see if we can get a little Zoom meeting going for
she's
tomorrow.
She's now in Atlanta. She called me from the airport in Tennessee that she was flying to Atlanta. And I put Richard in contact with her at the airport, and now she's up in Atlanta. So now we got a Zoom meeting with her in the next couple of days because she has a place in Atlanta where she's going to be producing films. It's like a big studio. She sent me a
Yeah.
little
Yeah, and
Zoom of with the bigs, and she wants to do the movie.
Yeah, and she told me, I can get you funding. I can get you funding. So I'm like, all right, let's see. Like they say, the proof is in the pudding.
But
That's the key to the
that's
funding.
unbelievable. I would have been, get into my car. Let's go. I would have just gone up there.
I know it's crazy, but
crazy.
this just kind of came out of the blue.
That's when it gets done.
72 hours ago this happened.
If you plan it for 20 years, it doesn't happen. But out of the blue, boom, right in the car, you got to go.
I know. Go figure.
10-hour drive to Atlanta. You can be there by
Yeah, you could be there by tonight for dinner. I mean, I'm just saying. I would definitely.
And she makes movies, so she's got the studio and everything.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I think
But
Rose.
how did she get the screenplay?
Rose had approached her in 2017.
Oh, okay. So it
And
was
she's
over
had
from
this
Rose.
screenplay since 2017, and she said she keeps every once in a while at back of her mind she sits there and goes, "I got to do this movie. I got to do this movie. I got to do this movie."
And how'd she find you guys?
She saw my post on Facebook.
Just randomly.
Yep.
Yeah. Just randomly.
I can't believe you guys are still sitting here. I'd be in my
You know,
car
you're-
so fast.
You know, you're right. Let's
You might be in Atlanta before he gets back to Miami.
True that. True. That's true.
Let's see.
it would take less time.
You know that the math equation? Two cars leave from point A at the same time. One goes south, one goes north. How fast did they go?
I got
North.
that. I got that in my SATs, and I wrote, "Who cares?"
Never eat soggy waffles, as Joshua would say.
Yeah, that too. But who cares?
What a great opportunity.
That is.
Yeah.
That's fantastic news.
Yeah.
Now,
And-
I wanted to ask, when you have a big studio, right? You got a 20,000 square foot studio and it has green and white and black, which are usually the basic colors on the walls, whether it's curtains or paint or whatever, and they stretch it on the floor. When you have that kind of structure, what do you have to fill it with to make movies?
Well, that depends on the movie, right? It depends on the type of location. Can you duplicate that location in the studio? How many actors do you need? Are you using background actors? You know, how many are you going to have there? It'll determine whether you're using a 1, 2, or 3 camera setup, lighting, all that stuff. So it's going to be specific to the script.
So if I show like a house, right? And then inside the house, we're going to have dialogue inside the house. I can build that in studio even though I show the picture, right?
Yeah.
It could be, right? I have an idea.
So if you look at the old I Love Lucy set,
yeah, that was simple.
I mean, that was
all
all
cardboard.
That was all the studio, yeah.
There wasn't anything real on that set.
There was only three. I think there was only 3 separate sets that they filmed on.
Yeah, the kitchen, the living room, and the bedroom.
Yeah.
Home Alone is all studio set. The film Home Alone.
Really?
All you've done in the studio.
And then you had the Mertzes.
No, Sanford and Son was the best. That was one set.
Elizabeth. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I used to love that show.
But what a great opportunity.
It is. I'm still wondering, why are you sitting here?
Well, I mean, you know, there are some logistics that we have to work out. You know, like, how are we going to be filming in Atlanta? Are we going to be filming down here? Are we going to be filming in both places?
Yes.
So we have to.
There
to
is no logistics.
Yeah.
You see, you back into it because if she said the key words to get you funding, then work it backwards. Go up, you set it up, you sit there, you sit there, you sit there, and then when you come back is when you're going to figure out how to make it.
You can hear that, you know, oh yeah, I can get you funding, and then hope that becomes a reality. So, but there are things that you need to do before you can get the funding.
What your budget is for this? Have you broken down what you need?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'd like to see if we can find a line producer that can put a budget together for us. I actually know somebody that I'm thinking of approaching him. He's out in LA, but because you know there's a couple of different budgets, right? There's the budget, the minimum budget that you can make the film with, and then there's the wish list budget, you know, which could be like, you know, anywhere between, you know, like 300% of, you know, what you can do it for. So yeah, so that's a lot of things that we need to work out before we head on up to Atlanta.
See, that's why I never make a movie, because somebody says, I'll be out there so fast.
You would go.
Before they hang up the phone, I'll be at the door knocking.
And we haven't really determined if it's going to be a full-length movie. Is it going to be a series?
Yeah, and then, you know, we're still in discussion with LJ on this whole thing and what he's going to do for us.
But
So-
all of that can be sorted out later. If somebody reaches out to you from Atlanta, I mean, think about this. What are the chances of somebody saying, hey, I got this script, you got this script, let's meet? What are the chances? I would have been there so fast as the wind of me running up there, the suction would take you with me. And then
it's like drafting, you know, with
and then
NASCAR.
you decide, okay, is this real? Is it Memorex? Is it this? Is it that? Because there's a lot of things you have to decipher.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that I do, and then I worry about it later. And she'll tell you. She's always beating
And I'm
up
the
on me.
opposite.
I don't.
Well, we may end up in Atlanta, but
I'm going to drive you up. We're going after the show.
Yeah.
You're going to stop in Tampa first?
Well, see, here's the other thing that we need to think about is that we are the Florida Arts Network.
I understand.
And so we want to try and do as much as we can here in Florida as well. I mean, it's a great location for filming.
It is.
You know, the only problem is we don't have the kind of incentives that Atlanta has, right? We have local, and like Broward County has their own incentives. So we need to kind of work all this. This is why pre-production can take 6 to 9 months, you know, before you film your first scene.
But if you need a beach scene and you're in Atlanta, Can't you just do a beach scene down here, have somebody film it and send it up to you?
Well, that's what they usually do.
Yeah,
I
CSI
don't see
Miami
it.
is filmed out in L.A. You know, they just do like establishing shots and stuff like that.
And there's so
Drone
much
footage.
B-roll out there. You ever seen Nightcrawler?
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we got to give Katie a slicer, some plates, so all of our guests can partake in the
A
cake.
what? A
slicer.
Is that what it's called? A slicer?
What do you call
Or
it?
did you make it up? I never heard of that. Una
A
cuchilla is what we
cake
call it.
slicer or a knife. This way we can serve all the guests before the show's over. More to come as we wish
cuchilla.
Katie good luck on her next set of endeavors. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Mellberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015. Are you compromising your medical care for doctors out of your network? Are you tired of dealing with referrals to see a specialist? Are you aware that you can save up to $155 a month on your Medicare premiums? You need an all-in-one benefits company that can help with all of your Medicare plan needs. Call today, All-in-One Benefits Group at 954-614-5488. We're here to find an all-in-one plan for you. 954-614-5488. Call today for open enrollment.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Ant Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I want to talk about, but I didn't. It was a press release. That was the press release for the event on April 21st, which is what we talked about with Flo.
On Friday? So give it out again.
I got to move the duck. So it's a good thing we've got pink cake, so we can celebrate Juliana as well as Katie. It's like a twofold celebration. See that?
It was unintentional.
Was it a coincidence again?
One in, one out.
One in, one out. That's interesting.
This is the teen actors team with local production company to tackle health disparities in educational PSA forms. It is Flow Film Showcase, University of Miami, Bill Cosford Theater in Coral Gables, Friday, April 21st at 6 p.m. But if you get there a little late, apparently it's going to start a little late. They want to make sure everyone gets there on a Friday evening. Check this out.
Very cool. Check it out. And also, Frank's books are here. I don't know if I want to read it. It's kind of scary.
I don't know why you think it's scary.
Because you don't, all week you've been talking about,
Should we rephrase? It's like a portal to the angels, is all I can tell you. If you should be positive.
I got to tell you something, that I just had a granddaughter scares me even more.
Why?
Because I know the shape the world is in.
But maybe she's going to be the chosen one to save the world.
Ay, Dios mío.
You never know.
You never know.
You never
but
know.
I'm a betting man, and I wouldn't bet on that. But
you never know. Positivity.
Okay.
Frank, what's next? As he's eating.
He's eating his cake.
The next book is.
The next book is the final chapter of that sci-fi thriller. That's going to be the next book. Samael of Sarah.
Oh. That one I might be scared of. This one, not so much.
I'm going to say nothing.
This one, we're still in hope and faith, and we still have the guardian angels. Always. You have to always believe. You have to always believe.
I say nothing. I have to admit that some of the people, we have some new artists that have come in with some new artworks and everything else that sort of surround that realm. And we've had people who have been touched by exactly what you're talking about. So I make fun of it, but maybe I make fun of it because I'm sort of scared of it.
Listen, I always say to you, God would not have brought us this far for us not to be here for a reason. And then I read it in Frank's book again. God would not have brought us to where we are right now if there wasn't a chosen path for us to be on.
I think the difference is that your vocabulary is so much superior to mine that you see words that I don't even recognize. When you read, I noticed that you were reading to yourself the other day. I couldn't even understand a word you were saying.
I know.
Yeah.
Trust me, you can do it.
I can.
Maybe we'll get Frank to do it in audiobook as well.
That would be spectacular.
We talked about it.
You
He
have to
said
have
it's
different
very
voices.
expensive and it takes a lot of time and money.
You have Arthur do the voiceover for it.
Yeah?
Arthur Tusky, his voice is soothing.
But we can have different producers do different parts of the book. All of a sudden, if you sit in there long enough, you can get through it. It may take a month or two, but you could do it.
That's not bad.
Think about it. It's like Yoko Ono.
Next project. Have you seen the new Beatles movie that just came out?
No.
No.
We were there
Pang?
Friday.
Anyone know May Pang? I never knew who May Pang was.
No.
She was the girlfriend of John
The
Lennon
third leg of John Lennon.
with Yoko Ono's blessing.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Interesting.
face. And it's all her perspective. Her and Julian. It's all their perspective of the story.
I'm sure
Okay, that's interesting.
Really
I'm sure
interesting,
Yoko
right?
is teeing up the lawsuits because they didn't paint her
The
in
voices
bad.
in my head are just
So based
thinking
on the
so
movie,
many crazy
she
things
was,
right now.
May Pang was the assistant of John Lennon and Yoko Ono, their private assistant. And at some point they started having marital issues, and Yoko said, "Go
Take
do
'em?
it." Yeah, pretty much. Go
Take
take
'em
them
and
and
I'll
make
go
them
get 'em
happy,
later.
and I'm going to go live my life.
But she never painted Yoko in a negative light. She didn't say, she said they were friends. She never said anything negative about the woman, even though we all know she was a couple of French fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Well, you got to see
Yeah.
the age difference. Yoko Ono's 90, and this woman in the movie was so not 90. So there's a huge age difference as well between the two women.
It was probably a 10-year difference because I think he was 30 at the time, 31, and she was 20, 22, around there.
Well, I didn't come
Sharing
to
is caring, you know.
Well,
The
I
Lost
didn't, what I
Weekend.
didn't understand, I never knew, was that Paul McCartney and Leonard decided to collaborate on some music together towards the end of his life, and they were doing more and more of it. I like to be a fly on the wall. You know, their breakup took 14 years, was it, to sign all those documents?
Beatles?
And then John Lennon did not sign. He came to Florida.
It all comes back to Florida.
And he says, I'm going to sign this on my terms. So something was going on between the guys.
Yeah.
So he signed it here and sent it back up. That's when the Beatles officially broke apart.
But interesting perspective. But I had never heard of her, and I just figured it was, but you hadn't either.
I didn't know who the hell she was. And then they asked if you had a story. Do you know? And there was a guy in there. I think he knew her. He was telling us all this stuff on this. You know, they had him talk with a microphone before the movie started. I was shocked. I had no idea of what I walked into. I thought I was seeing the Beatles and John Lennon. I know about the killing because we worked in the building with my father. But I didn't know what was going on. I never knew this whole threesome triangle thing was going on.
They didn't say it was a triangle, though.
Well, they didn't, but they did. Because Yoko would have said, we ain't having no more of that. It would have been, she said, with my blessings, take him. I'll get him later when he
Called
sees
The
him.
Lost Weekend, so interesting perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
You liked it, G-Man? Yeah. You never know.
It was interesting. And what was really interesting was the people that we met there. Lady says, I love South Florida oldies. I love the music. And then these talk shows come on.
I turn off the
Shut
radio.
it up. I said, what are you talking about? That's me.
I actually got to find your card, and we got to call her and bring her
She
in.
said, that's you? Yes. Oh, I will never turn it off again.
So, it's all about the movie business. Bring it back to Florida. Bringing the music back, too.
Yeah.
Yes. It's true.
Yeah, bring it back.
Frank, where do we get your books? Right here.
Oh, you can get them right at the studio, 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, or on Amazon, or you can contact me by email, frankarofolo@gmail.com.
And if you want to get a book today, he's here. He can sign it to you. And he has so many different books that if you have a question about the rest of your life, he'll tell you which one to read.
Pretty much true.
Because I got to live with this one every day telling me, oh, you got to read this, and you read it.
You gotta
By
read
the time
it.
I finish, I'm like, ay.
You got to read it. I mean, Gabriel's Chalice, it's Gabriel's Chalice, like we talk about all the time, and the angels and faith and everything that happens in the studio. And you would never be in life where you are if you're not supposed to be exactly right there.
You know, it's funny. I have one of your books in my house. I have no idea which one it is, but there's one there. So every time I watch the movie Armageddon, I put that right by the TV.
Josh is just looking at you like, really?
Armageddon. That's a good one. Bravo. You like that? I got Josh approval.
Pop up, it's good.
I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not kidding you. Because what is wrong with you? Frank, Armageddon. I must have seen that movie 100 times.
It's all
'cause
going to
they
be
keep going.
okay.
What?
It's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's all going to be okay. Well, congratulations to you and the entire Santori family. And what's her last name, her maiden name?
I'm sorry?
Sabrina's.
I know Sabrina.
And Sabrina, and to your family as well. Congratulations on the new baby girl. May
Thank
she
you.
have a lifetime of blessings, love, and happiness, truly from our heart. Only goodness for all of you.
And just a prediction that Dawn will be a grandmother before the year is over. Or at
What
least
year?
the news of this year.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one thing I do not know about. All I'm saying is
I do.
best of health and
I
luck
do.
and happiness
Frank's
to all of
people
you.
told me.
Yeah. It's in his
Juliet-
next book.
Juliana, Joey, and Gio.
The 3 J's, the Flying Gualendas.
Amazing.
You remember the Gualendas?
Yeah.
The Flying Gualendas.
Katie, thank you so much for all that you have done and continue to do for us. You always have a home here. Don't be a stranger. We are always here. And we hope you come back soon. Just like Teddy did when she left, and she's back. So we
Yeah,
hope
it's
we
not-
see you again soon.
It's not goodbye. It's we'll see you soon.
And Richard, Frank, and Chris, as always, thank you guys for what you do. Check out Friday night if you are in Coral Gables or you want to head down there to a film festival. G-Man can't go because he's working here. We will get you all that information on FLOW, Future Leaders of the World. I love the acronym.
That's right. And if you have a bus or something going up to Atlanta, let us know.
Yeah.
If you have a sandwich on the bus, we'd like to hitch a ride.
A space shuttle.
We will make it worth your while.
Have a great day, everyone. Tune in today. Meta Lifestyle Magazine show coming to you at 3 o'clock, and Mike the Money Coach at 4:30. It is tax day. File your extension, file your taxes, pay, do whatever you have to do, or get your refund. We'll see you in a little bit.
Don't stick your head in the sand thinking you don't have to pay taxes. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.